And Bhav Paravartan is ultimate because it says that right from the most, you must have heard about 6 leshyas, different temperaments that we have. You know how intensely you feel the passions. So I've been as cruel as one can be, and I've been as noble as I can be. So you have been a person who would even not, clinch if your body was totally burnt alive, or it was peeled off and a lot of salt was put into it. Still, you would have been very peaceful and with no animosity. You have had those temperaments. And you have had temperaments whereby for a small mistake, a small insult, would have killed the cities altogether. Those kind of variations we have had in our bhav. And all those were a part of the game plan of Pudgal, in association with Pudgal, influenced by Pudgal, in the flow of Pudgal. There was none of you in this entire thing. Now, another very important question which probably may arise in your mind here is that then how come, the Tirthankaras or a lot of other, living beings, human forms who go to moksha, they are not in the repeat mode. How does it work with them? Or there are so many jeev in the Nigod who have never come out of Nigod. How does it work in their case? Is there a logic? Can we reconcile all of these? Yes, you can. And how does that work again? So, jeev who get samyak darshan from there on, they are out of the cycle of life and death of Panch Paravartan. They have a different journey now. Jeev who become Siddha are out of this cycle frame. They are not in samsara. They are not associated with any pudgal at all. And Jeev who are in Nigod, the Nitya Nigod, they are also out of this repeat mode in terms of not the duration, because they are also living since eternity, but in terms of the different experiences, the variety of experiences that we have had in the different gatis, they have not had that. So, if I would say that this now I will talk about Pudgal Paravartan primarily. In this cycle of Pudgal, everything is happening in the repeat mode. Say, for example, there are 1 crore G, just for example. Of course, there are Anantanant, infinite. But for example, if there are 1 crore G, every 6 months and 6 samay, so little more than 6 months, 608 G come out of this cycle. They get liberated of this cycle. And the same period, 608 G from Nitya Nigod, who have never seen the light of day apart from Nigod, enter in this cycle. So the number of G, if it was 1 crore in this, repeat mode of Pudgal, it remains the same. It does not differ. Now you will say that which Jeev will, how does Pudgal know which Jeev are going to become, liberated and which ones are going to stay here, and how does the Pudgal manage things? Pudgal does not manage anything. I would say all the Jeev in this, frame of Pudgal are like placeholders. Now just imagine the way I'm talking about it. They are placeholders. So certain pipes, just imagine pipes. Okay. Somebody is entering here. Some pipes, after coming in from Nigod, maybe in 1, 2, or 3 lives can also go to moksha. There are some straight through processes, you can say, which will have a very shorter, cyclical time amongst this variety. Some pipes will go on and on and on here only. They will never come out. They are blocked at the end of it. So they will never get liberated. Some pipes, so every pipe has its own, the curls inside, a own root. So certain pipes are placeholder pipes. If you move there in that cycle, it means you're coming out of it. So anyone who becomes you can say, Tirthankar, in the bhav of a Tirthankar, like the 24 Tirthankars, their pipe is going to open up on the liberation immediately in that particular life. Anybody who has become a Swadharma Indra, or a Shachindrani, or a Lokantik Dev, or has gone to Sarvar Siddhi, or certain more other, placeholders. So certain such marked paryay are the ones from where when jeev will land in that paryay, they will definitely come out of it. So every time a new jeev will come in that paryay. Which means when Adinath Bhagwan, same body, same Pudgal Parmanu will get reconstructed in a Dravya Paravartan, the same jeev will not occupy it. It will not be in a repeat mode. It will always be a different jeev which comes there. Because whichever jeev will come in the Adinath Bhagwan, human form, will be liberated from there on. So there are placeholder paryay, and there are paryay where you will, how much ever you rise, how much ever noble you become, how much ever your kashaya are very, very mand, like very, very, subtle, but still you will realize that still you will land up in the same jungle of the paravartans inside because they are not the placeholder ones. So this also goes on to prove that everything is fixed. Everything is predetermined. While you always have a logic built into the system because the process is the logic. The steps which will lead you to your destination is the logic because it is always gradual. But the logic is not creating the destination. It is just the process step. Everything else that we are talking about here is happening because it is predetermined. There is only one way in which you can go ahead and prove the existence of things as they are. There cannot be any other way. You will falter, you will fall flat. Because as far as logic, agam, and the Vitragi Dharam says, everything says that while if be influenced from any other elements, while I am in the state of under the influence of any other elements, I will be bound. If I get in the flow of that river, I will have to follow its course. But if I come out of it, I realize the independence of my existence. And if I strive to come out of it, there is liberation. And my goal should be to get liberated.